lose the stream there? I didn't mean to lose the stream. Let's see if I lost the stream. Am I back on or no? I think I'm back again. Let's check this really quick. Are you back on again or no? I think I lost it for a minute. Keep losing the I'm doing wrong here. I'm doing something. Keep losing I lost the stream here. Hold on. Sorry about that. Lost the stream. Did I actually lose the stream or no? Am I back on again? All right. I wrote part 2 on it. It says that I'm back on here. I'm looking right now. Give me a second here, guys. I got to do some something in the background. Subscriber only, those like no time limit. Still on. Chat's still on. All right, we're back on again. Says I'm not on, and we're back. We're good. All right, we're good. Spoo is coming back up right now to retest the hourly trigger, fighting any reason it can get to go higher. We've got AMD today looking bullish into the bell. It's 3:16. I'm going to give me like 5 minutes for a quick break, take a potty break. I'll be back with you guys just a minute here. Here is the no, that's true. Batty. Sorry about that. Hold on here, guys. Ready?
So according to AP News, they do have a video here. Apparently, Carney is to hold a press conference after meeting with Trump.
That's Hims.
So it looks like it's just supposed to be Carney himself, not with Trump, just Carney holding a press conference after meeting with Trump. We'll get the video out for you in the feed.
And Hims will backtest and hold this too.
Get out of the feed for you anyways.
Hims will backtest this and hold and extend higher. Delayed reaction. This is what we should get from SPY, by the way. Same thing. They hit our target.
We have posted that video out on the Financial News feed for you to watch. Get no specific time on when that's supposed to start.
What happened here? Error 503, service unavailable. And what the fuck is going on back here? What is an error 503? You know, Carney, be super careful here. Or maybe this is a we can with a trade deal, hopefully. Be careful of trade deal here. We've got Carney holding a presser. I think this might be from the embassy. This has got to be the Canadian embassy. Let me check something here in the background. Just a note to you out there. So that chart that I posted to you in the Discord with the 1-date options. We're parked on, you guys know we're parked, and you guys know that other, here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, j'ai eu la première d'une série de réunions visant à établir une nouvelle relation globale entre le Canada et les États-Unis. President Trump and I met today as leaders of two sovereign independent nations. And I want to thank the President and the members of his cabinet that attended for welcoming me and my colleagues to the White House.
This can't be a trade deal without Trump there. There's no fucking way.
I conveyed to the President today what our countries have long proven to be true, that Canada and the United States are stronger when we work together. We can get a better deal for our workers. We can create more opportunities for our businesses. We can build stronger economies across North America when we work together. And really today marked the end of the beginning of a process of the United States and Canada redefining that relationship of working together. The question is how we will cooperate in the future, how we can build an economic and security relationship built on
Remember, this is the big resistance point right here.
interests and that delivers transformational benefits to our economies. We had what I would describe as wide-ranging and, as I said a moment ago, very constructive discussions. We agreed to have further conversations in the coming weeks, and we are looking forward to meeting in person at the G7 summit in Kananaskis in Alberta. Now, while that's going on, in Canada, we will focus on what we can control. Alors, demain, je réunirai avec les premiers ministres pour un appel afin de faire le point sur les conversations que nous avons eues ici aujourd'hui et de discuter du travail qui nous attend. We are going to reinforce our strength at home. We will reinforce Canada's security for an increasingly dangerous and divided world. We will transform our border security in the Arctic, and our support for our allies. We'll build an economy that creates jobs, grows incomes, and withstands shocks, when, in fact, the strongest economy in the G7, an economy that works for everyone. Nous allons bâtir une économie canadienne renouvelée, où tous peuvent réussir dans un monde qui est en train d'être profondément transformé. Nous allons bâtir les infrastructures qui permettront à nos entreprises de rejoindre de nouveaux marchés autour du monde. Et nous allons bâtir une seule économie canadienne, pas 13. We are masters in our own home, and we can give ourselves far more than any foreign government can ever take away. So now is the time to build, and based on the discussion today, to build at home and to build with our partners abroad, including the United States. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll now begin the press conference. We'll begin with questions from the traveling delegation. First question, première question.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Tonda McCharles, Toronto Star. I was watching your face through the meeting in the Oval Office, and I wondered what was going through your mind when the President talked about erasing the artificial border and how he criticized your predecessor and Madam Freeland.
Thank you for your question. I'm glad that you couldn't tell what was going on.
There was nothing there to stop us going up.
With respect to the first point, the President has made known his wish about that issue for some time. I've been careful always to distinguish between wish and reality. I was clear there in the Oval Office, as I've been clear throughout on behalf of Canadians, that this is never going to happen. Canada is not for sale. It never will be for sale. Some things, as I said in the room, some things are never for sale, and he agreed with that. I distinguish between the two, and then with respect to the importance of reestablishing a constructive relationship for negotiations of a partnership, of an economic and security.
Watch out for a squeeze here. We've got 50.
I look forward, not back, and
I posted a chart for you earlier at 56.35 one-date puts in the money that are expiring, and then
to renegotiate
a call magnet at 57.25.
Apart from the fact that he said that he would, is willing to have that negotiation, I think that's
on SPX.
That doesn't presuppose the outcome of the negotiation. As I've emphasized, it's a complex negotiation. There'll be zigs and zags, difficult aspects to it. But the prospect is there. We discussed it in more detail And as I said a moment ago, we'll be following up both between officials, but also he and I in the coming weeks. Thank you.
I mean, you're talking about a trade to.
Avec quoi ressortez-vous concrètement de cette rencontre avec M. Trump?
Talking about you're talking about a move like up here.
À travers des sujets géopolitiques et des sujets et des enjeux qui impliquent les relations commerciales.
This market's waiting for some kind of a.
Nous avons une trajet concrète. Nous avons eu un échange
570 on SPY.
Les objectifs stratégiques des États-Unis, les objectifs stratégiques du Canada.
There's no fucking way.
Il y a plusieurs enjeux sur lesquels on peut avancer les discussions. Alors,
That's a 2% move in 15 minutes.
Et une volonté qui existe entre les deux pays d'avancer les discussions. Mais il n'y a pas de décision sur n'importe quel tarif aujourd'hui.
Quand il a été question, quand on a posé la question à M. Trump sur les tarifs, s'il avait l'intention, si vous
Hourly trigger hit.
pour les lever, pour les supprimer, il a dit non. Comment est-ce que vous l'interprétez?
Ce n'était pas une surprise pour moi. Pas du tout. Non, pas du tout. Parce qu'il c'est une situation très complexe. Hein. Il y a plusieurs tarifs. Il y a des liens entre les initiatives américaines. Il y a un monde qui est plus dangereux et divisé. Et il y a des liens entre nos relations sécuritaires et nos relations économiques. Alors, il n'y a pas une initiative canadienne qui peut changer cette situation. C'est la raison pour laquelle il faut avoir des discussions globales.
Ce que je voulais dire, c'est qu'il faut s'attendre encore à ce que plusieurs mois, dans les prochains mois, ça reste. Là.
On verra. Non, on verra. On verra combien de temps ça va prendre.
Prochaine question.
C'est pas nécessairement comme ça.
Hi, Prime Minister. Joanna Smith from The Logic. At one point during the meeting in the Oval Office, the President, when talking about the tariffs and talking about a deal, also made very clear that when it comes to autos, his goal is to have car makers make...
I speak a little bit of French. He's just reiterating what he says in English, generally.
Anticipate lifting tariffs on autos at any point. And what did you tell him?
Because people is telling them that they have to have a conversation back at home.
Discussion about all the major issues in the room, so to speak, in the lunch afterwards, including autos, and specifically, without going into the full details, the strategic position of the North American auto industry, or more specifically,
there's like
auto industry versus foreign competition.
So that chart I posted for you earlier in the Discord, it's got like a fuck ton of puts expiring, so dealers theoretically, if we're in the money with those,
is of the view that Canada,
they don't want them to close in the money, I guess, unless you hold them till you want to own shares. But even then, if you're owning shares, it means we go up. And it turns like 57.25 into the target.
That takes full advantage of it for the benefit.
Unless maybe you unload them after the bell.
Very much for the benefit of Canada.
There could be like whoever's gonna buy, or we're assuming a bunch of stuff here that they're gonna close these contracts and not buy the shares.
Next question, prochaine question.
As they expire, they lose their impact on the market. The gamma doesn't matter anymore. But even if they bought them, unless they were going to dump them after the bell, the market would become very supportive.
Comme j'ai dit il y a quelques jours, je n'attendais.
Unless you're going to assume that they're going to unload these fucking things after the close, which would force dealers to chase after the bell. There's a lot of assumptions here.
Très complexe, il y a beaucoup d'aspects.
But you're talking a 2% move between
Nous avons eu des échanges très
now and tomorrow open.
tangibles.
Uh-oh, we're losing this. We're losing it again.
Et il y aura des réunions entre les Milan et moi sur l'appel et en Alberta au mi-juin. Alors, on a fait du progrès, mais toujours dans les négociations commerciales, n'importe quelle négociation commerciale, il y a un processus et le fin. Et pas nécessairement de progrès qui est apparent pendant les négociations. Ça, c'est la vie des négociations. Okay?
Parlant de
In English, I mean, to summarize, look, in a negotiation, you don't get like little elements of it. You get an end to a negotiation. We're having a very complex negotiation about a wide range of issues. And it's, as I said before I came here, I wouldn't have expected white smoke coming out of this meeting. That was not my expectation, because of the nature of the negotiation. So you don't expect to have specific progress as things move along, even when you're making progress, because it's a global. That's why it's a global negotiation.
Parlant de l'Alberta, que pensez-vous de l'idée de Daniel Smith d'encourager la tenue d'un référendum sur la souveraineté de l'Alberta?
Le Canada est plus fort que quand nous travaillons ensemble comme Canadiens et Canadiens. Et je suis albertain. Et je crois fièrement en Canada. Alors, on peut poser les questions, mais pour moi, la réponse est claire. Canada's stronger when we work together. As an Albertan, I firmly believe that. You can always ask a question, but I know what I would respond clearly.
Prochaine question. Next question.
Bonjour, M. Carney, Olivier Ferrand-Boissé de TVA. Est-ce que M. Trump vous a convaincu qu'il voulait bel et bien renégocier l'accord de libre-échange parce que ça semblait pas clair dans le bureau avant tout à l'heure?
C'est clair. Oui. Ouais.
Plusieurs reprises que...
C'est clair qu'il y aura... Ouais. Nous avons commencé la renégociation de nos relations commerciales, y compris la laine. OK?
Vous aviez dit à plusieurs reprises que, selon vous, M. Trump voulait nous briser pour nous posséder. Est-ce que c'est encore votre lecture de ses intentions après votre rencontre d'aujourd'hui?
Moi, je crois nous sommes forts. Et le Canada devient de plus en plus fort, jour après jour, semaine après semaine, avec le nouveau gouvernement. Alors, il va être dessous de cette idée.
Prochaine question. Next question.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister. JP Tasker, CBC News. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, JP.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Do you feel better or worse about Canada-U.S. relations after meeting with the President today?
Look, it was a very constructive meeting. I feel better about the relations in the sense of, in many respects, one, the posture, if I can put it that way, or the positioning the President took towards us. Secondly, the breadth of discussion and how concrete the discussions were. These are the discussions you have when you're looking to find solutions as opposed to laying down terms, if you will. So feel better about that. And I would add one other thing, which maybe isn't as obvious, so I should say it, which is that we also discussed a number of issues globally, geostrategically, if I can put it that way, where we have common interests, common concerns.
War.
This is a sign of a broader and very healthy, or a healthy relationship. Look, we have, JP, we have a lot more work to do. I'm not trying to suggest at any respect that we can have one meeting and everything's changed, but now we are engaged and very fully engaged.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister.
They're closing puts right now, by the way. Heads up.
You say to President Trump,
puts are being closed.
Tariffs on Canada. And based on your conversations, what do you think it would take to get those tariffs lifted?
This pump here is closing puts right now.
I can answer the second part of your question because we don't make that decision. But certainly press the case in a number of areas where we think the tariffs should be lifted, and specific.
Watch out for a super ramp these last 15 minutes.
the scourge of fentanyl and the efforts, the considerable efforts that have been made at our border and behind the border in terms of raids as well. Huge investments in border personnel, in drone surveillance, Black Hawk surveillance.
No.
And then those
means that the gamma is no longer important. The pin is weakening.
during the campaign commitments to another 2,000 in effect. 1,000 border guards through CBSA, another 1,000 RCMP, further efforts there. And what we're seeing is huge results for this. Canada's contribution to this problem, cross-border problem, was always very small, but it's down by over 90% with the efforts. And it is an absolute focus of the government. So that is an example of where we would see the case being very strong.
Means there's a new magnet higher. Not quite yet, but
where that goes.
57.25. I find it a little absurd to even think we'd go up 2% that quick.
Not in the interests of American competitiveness and jobs. We have more work to do on making those cases on that. Thank you. Pardon? Sur le fentanyl, alors, nous avons fait beaucoup de progrès en ce qui concerne le fentanyl. Il y a une chute. On a commencé avec un niveau très bas par rapport au Mexique. C'est moins de 1%, mais il y avait une chute le niveau, le montant de fentanyl. C'est presque 0,1% maintenant. Des exemples. Alors, mais c'est pas par hasard, parce que nous avons investi beaucoup en ce qui concerne la sécurité de notre frontière, et mon gouvernement va réinvestir de plus, 20% de plus, par exemple, par rapport les agents de la frontière. Alors, le cas pour enlever ou supprimer les tarifs de fentanyl est très fort maintenant.
Thank you. We'll have time for one last question and follow-up. Dernière question, une question de suivi.
Hi, Prime Minister. Stephanie Taylor with the National Post. I heard you say, there's a difference between the President's comments around Canada becoming a 51st state as a wish versus a reality. You told him that Canada was not for sale. But many Canadians are offended and deeply angered by the fact that he keeps repeating this comment. So have you asked the President to stop calling Canada the 51st state?
Yes. Today.
Okay, specifically, what did you ask him?
Exactly what you just said.
But what words did you use? How did you ask him?
Look, I gave you an answer. Do you have a follow-up?
En français. What was his answer?
Well, we'll look. I don't know. He's the president. He's his own person. I would go back to showing the difference between a wish and a reality. We're very clear. I've been very clear publicly, consistently. I've been very clear in private. I was clear again in the Oval Office. Would be clear throughout. The president. He understands that we're having a negotiation between sovereign nations, and that we will only pursue and accept a deal that's in the best interests of Canada, not just in the short term, but in the medium and long term for Canada. J'ai dit, c'est pas utile de répéter cette idée. Je l'ai dit à lui, mais il est le président, il va dire ce qu'il veut. Pas, mais il y a une différence, une grande différence entre la réalité et la volonté, comme vous le savez.
This will be the last question. Sorry, just last question.
Okay.
Steph didn't take a follow-up, so last question, please. Thank you.
This is Vipal Manga from the Wall Street Journal. Given what's happened with the USMCA and the tariffs that Canada is facing, how do you trust that the U.S. right now is negotiating in good faith, and how do you trust any deal you sign with them?
We'll make that determination over the course of the negotiations. I mean, that's the.
I mean, it's the fucking market's just looking for any reason to squeeze right now.
Which is that we have been in the processes.
AMD, man, could fucking rip regardless of.
Point at which a serious discussion.
I bet AMD could say we suck.
We had the president
We're negative.
welcomed us.
We went negative for earnings and it would still go vertical.
With the president, but in the presence of the vice president, the secretary of commerce, the secretary of foreign affairs, and beyond, his chief of staff as well. Now I'm in trouble, Stephen Miller.
We were positioned today for this rip.
I think that covers it.
Or for what this thing wants to do here. It's looking for any piece of news to trigger it.
Specific things to follow up on and build out. For
if Carney just said we're near a deal.
Based on that, it also
just that alone, like one line, Canada and the USA is near a deal.
In the agreement that you get, and I think the lesson.
Fuck yeah, Hims fucking went right to our target today.
The incentives are aligned and durably so between the two countries, and that is a way that agreements are self-reinforcing. Thank you very much.
Prime Minister, this was the next press conference. C'est ce qui met fin à notre conférence de presse. Merci.
Or they're just looking for any fucking excuse at this point. Fucking Jerome comes out with a green Jerome comes out with a green tie. Market goes fucking vertical for like 100 points. And we've done this how many times? Let's look at this bullshit down here. Fucking like this whole price action is a disaster. Just, I mean, look at this. Just wants to fucking. It's just like, look at it. Yeah, we want to go scream. And no, you didn't say it, Besant. Oh, wait a minute. We got Carney here. We got Trump. No, wait a minute. We got Carney. Oh, nope, didn't get it again. We're still on this downward path here. But, dude, it just wants to fucking moon. This market wants any good news. Anything. And look, so he leaves, and look what it does. Just like shanks back down again. And what's crazy is, so we were watching the calls and puts all day long, and it's like, rare. Come on, Carney, just say we're close. You know Trump's in the Oval Office right now going, just say the deal is done. The market just wants like one reason to go up. It just wants like one of these guys to say, anybody. Back down again. Same result here as this one up here. Same price action all over. Presser done. Back down again. No, like, it's like the market wants any reason to squeeze, like anything that's positive, and it's not getting it. Nothing from Besant, nothing from Trump, nothing from Carney. If there was one positive thing to say, I would say the reporter was trying to get a zinger from him. And they're not getting that from him. That guy is like consummate. He's like a CEO. You know, in the background, he's going to talk all kinds of shit privately. But you're never going to get that guy in public to be like, not where they are to do that shit. Not a word. Like, you're not going to get Carney with the zinger, like, you know, fuck Trump. You're not going to get any of that from him. She wanted a zinger. She kept asking, try and pry him. Not going to hear that. And he was talking about Alberta, something about, I think Alberta wants to separate or something. He was talking about going back to talk to Alberta, people in Alberta about shit. He didn't say that in English, but I'm assuming that something's going on in Alberta, but whatever. This market wants any good news. Like any good news. It is ripe for a fucking rip. It is fucking ripe. So look at that really quick. You know, if this thing squeezes, I mean, this fucking thing is, I mean, if it squeezes, I mean, it wants to squeeze like that right there. 574.32. Like it wants to go moon. I mean, I figured it'd be delayed over here, but it's looking for anything. It's just you can see it's just begging here. And look at how tight this sell is here. This doesn't mean we're gonna squeeze, but this reminds me of IWM. It looks squeezy like IWM. Whenever you get like this much, or whenever you get price action this now, which is bad because IWM, if it rejects, goes to depths of hell. But whenever you're this close with price and this much like door closing, any good news, it literally goes vertical. Because price is so close. Like, you see it right here? You can see it. You can see these wicks right here, right? Like, there's a big giant fucking wick right here. There's a big giant fucking wick right here. Big giant wick right here. And we just got another wick right here. And like, the moment these doors open, it's like Moontown. It'll literally go vertical all the way up to all-time highs. It'll trade not all-time highs, excuse me, to this prior high over here. It'll trade 569 on SPY. Yeah, it'll trade 569. I set up here 574, I was wrong. It'll trade 570 on SPY. You can see it right here. It's just looking for a reason. And they're just like hammering this, hammering this, hammering this, hammering this. Hammer, hammer, hammer. It wants to squeeze really bad. It's just looking for a reason to squeeze. Just the grind, baby. We're just in the grind. What do they call this? Edging? We're in edging right now. Now blasting back down again. All it wants here is like a reason to squeeze. And we keep like creeping up to squeeze them. I said 2% move. It's not 2%, is it? I think it is. Oh, let me check it. That's 1.34% from the initial move. 1.8. We would, of course, fail a little bit lower. I guess 1.7%. If we squeezed up here, that's 2.18%. Market's looking for a reason to squeeze. Back to the depths of hell, boys. Okay, it's 358. 358. We're gonna look quickly here. HIMS had a delayed reaction. Spanked it to the upside. We're gonna watch. Do you want me to do TEM for you? I thought I looked at TEM. I'll look at TEM after the bell here. I thought I did TEM, though. Let's do 4. We'll do Rivian. We got Rivian here. Let's put Rivian on a 1 minute here. So here's Rivian. Go, oh, look at Spoos. Spoos getting annihilated into this close right now. Let's go with Rivian. Dude, this market is fucking... This market is on fire. It is literally whipsawing. It's like SPY, right? So here's Rivian. We'll do TEM. I thought I looked at TEM yesterday. It looks like it wants to crank. I thought we were bullish on TEM. Spoo's now giving up the entire move into the bell. The entire run-up into this announcement from Carney. Market wanted a reason to go up. I'm bullish on TEM, by the way, if you're listening right now. Spoo's now giving up the entire run. I thought we looked at TEM yesterday. We want AMD. AMD's been humping all the way up here. We'll see what this thing does. There's a little bit of a gap down below. We wanted to see that get closed before the close here today. And there's an upside target, and then there's some doom down below, or a gap to fill down below if you don't. So we got, hold on, so we got Rivian, Tempest, we've got AMD, and then we did Rivian already? I thought we already did Rivian. We got a SMCI too. The other scam company. All right, I think everybody's on a 1 minute here. TEM already rising right now. TEM blasting higher. TEM trading 54.94. AMD had a small gap underneath to close. They have a giant gap to close underneath too, but I don't think we hit that one. I think they hit the upside first. Rivian, we wanted to see a quick upside move to close a gap and then run it to the downside. SMCI weak. SPY looks like shit right now. SPY giving back its entire move into this bell from the origination on Trump or Carney or Trump announcements hopes. Blasting back down into the depths of hell, heading lower after the bell right now. TEM ripping higher again, trading 54.94. Trading 55.99. Had a big cross on a daily trigger and a weekly trigger. Primed to squeeze. Rivian looking beautiful right now as well. Now trading 56.08 in Tempest. They have an upside target of 61.50 on Tempest. Holy shit, we got Rivian, baby. Trading 14.10 to its target. Rivian hitting its upside target at 14.10. SMCI bleeding right now. Testing its cross of the half an hour and hourly trigger. Congrats to Rivian Bulls. AMD just closed its gap on the downside. SMCI looking pretty weak right now. Congrats, Rivian Bulls. Congrats, Tempest Bulls. SPY starting to turn around now. Rivian now heading to the downside to $13.
It's about 10 minutes ago until we get AMD earnings Q1 2025. EPS estimate of 94 cents and a revenue estimate of $7.12 billion.
Rivian now reversing, now higher again, back in line. Hit its first upside target. Hasn't hit 1473 just yet. Hit 1417, but not 1472. See if we can get one more pump on Rivian. SMCI bleeding right now. Trading 31.56. Still in line though. Still waiting on AMD. Oh man, SMCI, man, they're gonna take that shit to $1, aren't they? They're gonna take SMCI to like I looked at the gaps on SMCI. It was like $1.50 or something. Like SMCI. I think Winky talked about SMCI, and I think I even talked about it this summer, right? I think in April it topped or something last summer. I think it topped last summer, and people were like, "Oh, it'll be fine." I'm like, I think Winky was more like aggressive, like it's going to zero. It's a scam. Rivian all over the place right now. Remember, if we can get a sell on Rivian to like $10, worth the buy. SMCI bleeding more. Didn't even give him a reach around squeeze. Waiting AMD trade. I haven't had any alerts go on to buy anything yet.
Trump begins remarks at FIFA White House event. Remember, the video is on the feed, so if you just refresh it, or it should start by itself.
Oh, here we go. Watch out. We got Trump talking here.
FIFA Senior Advisor Carlos Cordero and CEO of Fox Sports, Eric Shanks. Where's Eric? Where's Eric Shanks? Hello, Eric.
SMCI being taken to the woodshed right now.
I'm looking for you at this table. You should be at this table. Hi, Eric. Along with members of my cabinet.
SMCI down 10%.
Howard Lutnick, Sean Duffy, Kristi Noem, Russ Vogt, Deputy Secretary Christopher Landau, and Deputy Secretary Steve Feinberg. I also want to welcome two of my very good friends, Bernard Arnault and Alex Arnault. They own a little company around the world. One of their smaller companies is Tiffany, and Tiffany made the beautiful trophy, and I guess it's...
God, FIFA is like one of the most corrupt organizations in the world themselves.
It is behind me, and it's really a work of art, but I want to just welcome Bernard and Alex. Where are you? Where are you? Okay, good. They have no lack of cash. I know that. They're great. And they're great people. We've been friends for a long time. Thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor to have you both. We're also joined by Senators Shelley Moore Capito and Todd Young. Where are they? Where are they? Hi, Shelley. How are you? Hi, Todd. How you doing? You're getting younger looking, Todd, I'll tell you. It's pretty young to start off with, right? Oh, you too. She said, what about me? What are you two? Even more so, Todd, right? That's very cute. Representatives Damon LaHood and Brian Stile, thank you very much. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you. Good.
4 minutes left.
Director Kash Patel, who's doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Kash. Appreciate it. And our Executive Director, Andrew Giuliani, just got the post, and he's going to be great. I know him for a long time. He's a highly competitive golfer, which, I mean, really good. And he's also a highly competitive person, and he loves what we're doing. So I want to congratulate you and your family and your father, your great father, who's the greatest mayor in the history of New York. So I want to congratulate the family. It's a big post. You better do well, Andrew. Tell him, is my golf game okay, too? I'll say, he knew what to say, see? Well, he's a smart person. That's why I appointed him. Together, this group will help plan the biggest, safest, and most extraordinary soccer tournament in history, and that's what it's going to be, Johnny. In my first term, I negotiated the return of the World Cup to America, and now in my second term, I'll have the honor of hosting the World Cup for the first time of any president in more than 30 years. And remember, we also have a few other events. I must tell you that we have the 2028 Olympic Games. We have the 250-year celebration of America. That's a big one. I don't know. Maybe that's the biggest. I don't know. That could be the biggest. But that's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be essentially, Todd, that's going to be a year-long celebration. We have the G20, and that'll be in December of 26. We have the G7, used to be the G8, by the way, and that's in 2027.
SMCI recovering.
That's a lot of action we have going for the next 4 years.
After being down 60%.
It's going to be amazing for the country.
That's a joke.
Starting this June, the United States will host
but it's definitely down.
Club World Cup, which will feature 32 elite soccer clubs from all over the world competing in 63 matches across 11 American cities.
On the daily high, it's down 10.54% on the day.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Fucking A, man.
California.
Jeez.
Nashville, Tennessee, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we have it in 11 American cities all over. And these are great cities, too, and they like soccer more and more.
Rivian holding up right now. Tem looking great.
They really love it. And next summer, we'll host the official 2026 World Cup tournament, where 48 national teams will compete in 78 matches right here in the USA. And that'll be something very, very different and very special. These events will attract millions of passionate fans around the world, including my son. I have a son that loves soccer. Barron. Nobody's ever heard of Barron, right? Have you ever heard of Barron? He's a good soccer player, too. He's a little tall for soccer, but that's okay. And over 1 billion viewers. You're going to have one of the biggest viewerships of any sport at any time. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase the beauty and the greatness of America, and we can't wait to welcome soccer fans from all over the globe. I don't know if I'm supposed to say soccer or football, because every time I say soccer, Barron and Eric say you're really saying it wrong. It's supposed to be football, but we know it more as soccer.
Huh?
These events will also generate tens of billions of dollars in economic.
You're an American. You say soccer. Even in England, they say soccer.
Jobs for American workers. I've directed my entire team to do everything within our power to make the World Cup an unprecedented.
Depends on where you're from.
It's going to be. We're going to make sure of it. The State Department, the Department of Homeland Security, every part of the U.S. government will be working to ensure that these events are safe and successful, and those traveling to America to watch the competition have a seamless experience during every part of their visit. It's going to be very special. Together, we will ensure that the 2026 World Cup will be the best-run soccer tournament the world has ever seen.
There you go. Just say soccer in American.
Tournament you did. You're going to be
AMD.
Yes, because this is so much better.
AMD. Close the gap underneath. Trading higher at $103. $104 on AMD right now.
The event, and I think before the media came in,
just slapped its upside target.
I was very disappointed because I got the event.
Got 113 the other way.
I said it was my term, and I won't be able to see it. And then bad things happened with the election, and now we do see it.
Spy squeezing after the bell, but restrained.
But I'd like to ask FIFA President Gianni Infantino, really one of the most powerful men in sports. It's amazing because you've done such an incredible job with soccer.
Oh, they fucked us on Spy here, too. They were looking for the whole, like, shabam.
And Secretary
Carney, Trump announcement, AMD fucking squeeze. AMD trading $105.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President.
Upside target smashed through an AMD.
Task force.
We had a target of 103.
Incredible.
And then a secondary target of 106.80.
In America in the year to come.
That should be delayed. It's already trading 105.85. 106.80 is the target.
United States, in Canada, and in Mexico, that we thought will actually bring another World Cup.
And we closed the downside dip.
World Cups in the next year. The new FIFA Club World Cup. This is the trophy of the new FIFA Club World Cup.
Did you notice?
Yeah, I played soccer for a long time. FIFA is corrupt as a fuck. Every time those guys talk, I'm just like, ugh, gross.
Take place of the World Cup in the United States out of the 100.
AMD smashed it out of the park.
But the Club World Cup this year is a new competition. Will take place in the United States, in 11 cities of the United States. It's new. It will make history in 250 years.
AMD Q1 adjusted EPS 96 cents on 94 estimate.
FIFA Club World Cup.
Well, Revs 7.44 billion versus estimated 712.
Because it is a big event. The 32 best clubs.
Remember that we were in negative gamma and AMD ripped.
Different countries will come here for the first time in history to compete, and we'll see who is the real world champion in club football.
Rating 105.
Before
want to see that 108 if possible.
40 days, less than 40 days.
Just a note that they didn't have a huge beat today. Adjusted EPS 96 cents on an estimate of 94 cents. Rev 7.44 billion. Estimate 7.12 billion. Adjusted operating margin was 24%. The estimate was 24.6. R&D expenses 1.73 billion. The estimate was 1.69. CapEx 212 million. The estimate was 172.6 million. Adjusted operating income 1.7 billion. The estimate 1.76 billion. Sees second quarter revs of $7.18 to $7.78. The estimate was $7.23. Sees second quarter adjusted gross margin 43%, including $800 million in charges. Some strikes from India on Pakistan just now on terrorist infrastructure. Pakistan claiming they're going to respond to attacks by India. So India, Pakistan heating up right now. All right. I'll see all of you guys.